everyone, I'm Melissa here and welcome to your Melissa Moment. Hello everyone, Melissa here. Welcome to your Melissa Moment and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I want to talk about a few things today that can be very difficult to talk about. Trigger warning for some of you. We're going to talk a little bit deeper today about some things. So if you are triggered by talking about addictions, disorders, anything like that, you may not want to watch this video. But putting the warning out there, we are going to talk about some difficult things today, okay, when it comes to wellness. Now, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know I'm on a wellness journey. I had bariatric surgery back in April of 2022. I can't believe it's been that long. You guys, were coming up to a year. It's been a year. It's gone by very fast. And I just want to talk about my journey with it. Now, again, I want to let everyone know I am not a trained professional by any stretch of the imagination. This is all my personal experience, my personal opinions. Please, before you guys do anything, make sure you talk to an actual trained professional, whether it's your family doctor or whatever. This is just my experience, okay? So don't take everything I say to heart. Everyone is different. Everyone has different things going on in their lives. What's right for me may not be right for you, and that kind of thing, okay? But I'm about a year out of my surgery. Now, like most people, whether you have surgery or not, most people have goals for themselves. And I had a lot of goals going into surgery. You have these goals and these thoughts of what you want to see. And a lot of times your goals and reality don't always match up, or they don't always match up on the timeline that you have set out for yourself. And that can be very difficult. That can be very hard. I myself, currently, I'm in a very bad place mentally with my my health journey. I think I've made a few mistakes. I'm learning from them. But I also feel very alone on this health journey. If you've watched my videos, you know I don't feel that I've been getting any support whatsoever from the bariatric team, my family doctor. There's no support groups out here for people like me. I feel very alone in this journey. And my husband also is on his own journey, but with that said, we're very different. Our journeys are similar in some ways, but very different in other ways. I don't have the same goals that he does. He doesn't have the same goals that I do. So it can make it very difficult. I also have a very small friends social circle. So again, I don't really have a lot of people I can talk to about things. Now, with that said, it's important to talk to people about things that are bothering you. So I myself, I do have a counselor that I see. I am talking to him about this. So, if you are going through something, whether it has to do with health, wellness, any other situation in your life, I will encourage you to find somebody that you can talk to, because it's very important. I'm working through it. But I'm in a bad spot. Now, why am I talking to you about this? Because it's important for people to know that, and I've mentioned this before, when you're doing something like this, it's not going to be linear. It's not going to be like, here's where I am, this is where I want to be, and we're just going to get there. That's not how this goes. It ebbs and flows. There's a lot of ups, there's a lot of downs, and it takes a long time to get from here to here because it's not a straight line. And unfortunately, I am in a spot in my journey where I feel absolutely stuck. Specifically to weight loss, I think a lot of people, myself included, look at the number on the scale. And that is the main thing we look at to determine success. I had a goal. Before my weight loss surgery, I was like over 260 pounds. And my goal after weight loss surgery was to get to 175 pounds. That was my goal. I thought it was realistic. I thought it was achievable because I've been at 175 before. I've been there. So I felt that it was a realistic goal for me. I also felt like hitting that goal within 10, 11 months of surgery was also realistic because that's what happened before. 11 months later, I was at that weight. So in my mind, I've done it once before. This is how long it took. I'm going to be able to do that again. That was not my reality. That is not my reality. As of today, my weight has actually increased. Now, don't get me wrong. I've lost weight. I went from over 260 down to 198, which is amazing. I'm not taking that for granted. I'm happy about that. However, my weight is slowly going back up to 206 today. Now that is a trigger for me to go from 198 to 206. It's a red flag, a huge red flag, and it terrifies me and it scares me because I don't want to get back to 260. I want to continue to get to that 175. Now, with that said, I also feel like I should be at 175 already. And a lot of people look at the scale and that's your success or not. Same with the bariatric team. I'm getting close to going to Regina for my 1 year post-op follow-up. And when you go for these follow-ups with the bariatric team, they weigh you. They weigh you. That is the only metric that they use is the scale. Not once through this journey did they encourage me to take measurements of my body. Not once. It's always been step on the scale, we'll get your weight. Now, I want to stress to people, that is not the only metric to use to determine your success. Whether you've had bariatric surgery or not, whether you're just trying to lose weight on your own or maintain your weight, whatever stage you're at, wherever you are in your life goals, just don't get caught up on just the number on the scale. There are so many ways to determine your success. Now, I'm saying these words to you, and these words are true, but I'll be the first to tell you, they're very hard to accept. Okay? Very hard to accept. I am dealing with body dysmorphia really bad right now. And it's really hard. And I'm sorry if I get emotional. My goodness. It's tough because everyone looks at the scale and that's the metric that most people will use. And it's not accurate because I know what I'm doing are the right things. I'm doing my best to eat right. I'm doing my best to get sleep. I'm doing my best to drink enough water. I'm doing my best to exercise. I'm doing all of the things that you should be doing in order to get to where you want to be. But the scale for me is not reflecting that. As I said, my scale is going up in weight, and that can be detrimental because that's what we've always been told to use as a metric. Now, like I said, there's lots of other ways to measure success. One of them is your inches, your measurements, your overall measurements. I have taken measurements through my whole journey, okay, from the beginning, like before surgery, throughout my weight training, before and after sessions, kickboxing, before and after. I've been taking my measurements throughout. Now, that is where I'm seeing the most difference is I have lost a lot of inches off my body. The shape of my body is changing, okay? My clothes, I've had to buy smaller clothes. Obviously, if I've had to buy smaller clothes, I'm losing weight, right? So there's other things to look at. Now, I'm going to encourage you, if you ever get to a point where I am, where you feel defeated, where you feel like you failed because the number on the scale is going up and not going down, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do, and the first thing that I did, was I immediately went to some old clothes that I've kept. And I'm gonna say this. When you're losing weight, I want you to keep clothing from when you were at your biggest weight. I'm not saying keep everything. I'm saying keep a shirt and a pair of pants or a dress or something. Keep something basically forever. And that may sound weird, but it's important. Do not keep everything because you don't want to fit in those clothes anymore, right? If your goal is to lose weight and you get too small for your clothes, get rid of them because you will never get back to that. You'll never be able to wear those again, right? That's the goal. We don't ever want to be able to wear those clothes again. So get rid of them. You don't need to keep them. Get rid of them. But do keep at least one shirt or one pair of pants or a shirt and pants or a dress, something. Keep something forever. And the reason is when you get to this point where I'm at, where you feel defeated, where you feel like you haven't done anything, you're not where you want to be. I want you to go back to that original piece of clothing and I want you to put it on. Okay? Because that can be a very powerful statement to put on a piece of clothing that you used to fit in, and now when you put it on, you will see how much progress you've actually made. I put on a shirt that I wore on surgery day, and it is so big, I could fit 3 of me in it. And that is a very powerful thing. Because I've talked about this before. Your brain and what you actually look like don't match up. My brain still sees me at that original weight. And I know that sounds funny, but it's true. When I look in the mirror, my brain sees the large me. It doesn't see what I'm currently at, and that makes it hard as well. Your brain is always the last thing to catch up on these things. I know it's weird, but it is. So I encourage you to keep something. So when you do hit the point where I'm at, and you probably will, most people at some point in their journey will hit these lows where they just feel completely defeated, I highly, highly encourage you to try on the clothing you kept from your original size, because that will show your progress. Okay. Take your measurements, take your own photos. If you're like me, when you were large, you probably have very few photos of yourself. And if you do have photos of yourself, you probably don't have full length photos of yourself. I never liked getting my picture taken, mostly because I didn't like how I looked in photos. So there's very few photos of me when I was big. And that's just the way it is. But I encourage you, again, take those photos, and try to take different angles. Take a photo of you looking straight to your side, to your other side, your back, full length. I know it can be scary, but as you go through your journey and you progress, you can look back at your photos and you can actually see the difference. You really can, because that number on the scale is not the only way to determine your progress. Okay, you can see it in wearing clothes and see how small you are now, in your measurements, photos, before and after, comparing them. You can see it in your energy level. You can see it in your strength. If you've gotten stronger, just your overall health. So it can be really difficult going through this. Now, another thing that I've experienced is something that I didn't really realize could be a thing. I've been having issues with hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar. I'm not diabetic, but I'm having issues with it. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Well, I didn't realize, but there is such a thing as overtraining. Have you heard of this? Overtraining. Basically, you're exercising too much. I never really thought that was a thing, but it is. And I've realized that I'm overtraining. Now, I did not intend to overtrain. That wasn't my intention, but that's where I'm at. Now, what does that mean? Well, I was doing strength training. I still am. I was doing strength training 3 days a week. And I had been doing that since I got the clearance to go and exercise after surgery. So I've been doing it for, 6-7 months. And I've lost inches, but again, it's that number on the scale that I keep getting hung up on is not moving as much as I'd like it to. So I thought maybe I need to increase my exercise, right? So that's what I did. So strength training 3 times a week. I decided to join kickboxing another 3 days a week. So now I'm working out 6 days a week, an hour at a time. That's 6 hours a week. I have 1 rest day. On top of that, I'm also doing other things, such as I was doing a squat challenge. Every day you had so many squats to do. So I was doing that on top of it every day. And the first thing I noticed is my energy has gone down. I don't have strength. I am so weak. It's pathetic. With kickboxing, I can barely lift my arm to punch the bag. It sounds funny, but I literally can't lift my arm. I should be able to, right? I can't. I don't have the energy. And if you look up, if you look up, there's actually symptoms of overtraining. Some of the symptoms, not all of them, some of them, okay? Increased muscle soreness. that gets worse when you train. A plateau or decline in athletic performance. Inability to train at the level you used to train at. Increase in tension, depression, anger, confusion. Inability to relax. Poor quality of sleep. Moodiness. Decreased motivation. Not feeling joy from things that were once enjoyable. Leg pain. I'm experiencing pretty much all of those symptoms. And I never really thought about it, but you can overtrain. Why is overtraining bad? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Obviously, losing strength from overtraining is never a good thing. Not having energy, being tired, your muscles are sore. You're not giving your muscles enough time to recover and heal, right? Because when you're doing things like strength training, you're actually ripping your muscles, right? You're putting very small tears in your muscles, which is allowing them to grow and get bigger. But you need time for those little tears to heal. And when you're training every day, you're not giving your body that time to heal. The bad thing about that is you're opening yourself up to a risk of injury. You can injure yourself a lot easier when you don't give your body time to recover. And if you injure yourself, you could, have to stop exercising until that injury heals. And it may take even longer for that injury to heal because your body is not at its peak level where it should be, right? So there's a lot of bad things with overtraining. Now, why am I overtraining? Like I said, this wasn't my intention. I wasn't seeing the goal that I had in my head fast enough. Now, it takes a long time. It takes a long time to reach your goal. Like I said, it's not a straight line. And everyone's different. Everyone's body is different. So I thought by increasing my exercise, it would push my body out of this plateau I've been in, and I would start seeing more progress. So my intention was to do the kickboxing for 6 weeks. Weight training and kickboxing, 6 weeks, 6 days a week for 6 weeks was my goal. After that, I was going on vacation for 3 weeks. So that 3 weeks on vacation, I was not doing kickboxing anymore, but I was going to continue to do my strength training 3 times a week, even on vacation. Mostly because I don't want to lose what I've gained, right? You don't want to lose your gains. So that's why. When I came back, my kickboxing contract is up in June. So when I come back, my original goal was, again, go back into that 6 days a week of training. But once I realized I'm overtraining and it's actually detrimental to me right now because I don't have the strength. I've noticed in my weightlifting, I can't lift as heavy as I used to be able to because I just don't have the energy. I don't have the strength anymore. So I decided instead of doing training 6 days a week, I was going to do it 5 days a week. But now I'm like, you know what? I don't even know if I can do that. So I think the first milestone with kickboxing is 25 classes. When you hit 25 classes, you get like a little certificate, that kind of thing. And I'm very motivated by awards and things like that. I know some people aren't, and that's fine, but I am. I'm very motivated by them. So my goal for kickboxing is I want that certificate that says you've completed 25 classes. So when I get back from our vacation, I am going to continue with kickboxing until I hit that 25 class mark. And when that happens, I will not be signing up for kickboxing again. I will be doing a video, or maybe I already did, I can't remember, where I talk about the kickboxing. But I won't be signing up again because I'm overtraining. This is a thing. I wasn't aware this was a thing, but it's a thing. So I need to reevaluate things, and that will happen, and it's okay to reevaluate your goals. I can't stress that enough. Just because you have a set goal and you don't hit that goal, or maybe you don't hit that goal on the timeline that you originally had planned out, that doesn't mean you're a failure. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that you weren't successful. It just means you need to change your goals. Okay, you need to maybe extend them. Instead of maybe hitting the goal on this date, maybe we're going to hit that goal in another month or 2 months or 6 months or whatever it takes. The important thing is don't give up. As much as you want to, because you feel like you're not progressing, you feel like you haven't done what you wanted to do, don't give up, because you have improved. You have. You can go back and look. I can go back and look. What was I lifting on day 1 when I started strength training, and what am I lifting today? It's way more. I've obviously improved. There's things where you can see the improvements. If I were to give up right now, I'm going to lose all of that, and I'm going to go back to square one. We don't want that. We've worked hard. So don't disregard the work you've put in, because you've put in a lot of work. So the important thing is don't give up. It's okay to change your goals. It's okay to change your timelines, but don't give up. My physiotherapist, I highly respect him and his opinions. He always says one thing, and it's trust the process. You have to trust the process. And that can be hard to do. But he's right. It is a process. You have to trust it. You just have to keep doing it. You have to keep improving. Just keep every day, try to make better choices. Try to make sure you're doing things and improving things all the time. It's okay to, you don't have to eat clean 100% of the time. If you have a piece of cake or you have a cookie, whatever it is, don't look at that and be like, oh no, I had a piece of cake. That's it. I've ruined everything. I might as well stop. No, you haven't ruined everything. You're a human. It's okay to have a piece of cake once in a while. I don't recommend doing it every day or multiple times a day. I don't recommend eating a whole cake. But again, if you do eat a whole cake, okay, accept it for what it is and just make better choices tomorrow, right? That's all it is. So I thought it was important to talk about this today because you are going to hit these low points. You are. And it's so easy to want to give up, but you can't. You cannot give up. You have worked so hard, and you're going to continue to work hard, and eventually, it's probably not going to happen as quickly as you want it to, but eventually it will happen. You just have to keep pushing. And that's what I'm doing, is I'm continuing to push through it. It's okay to feel like this. It just happens. It happens. Unfortunately, it happens. But just know there's way more than just the scale to show your progress, because you are progressing. And like I said, it's hard. Even I struggle with it because I weigh myself every day. And some people say you shouldn't do that. Some people say you should do that. Everyone has their own opinion. That's fine. You need to do what's right for you. But the important thing is, don't get hung up on one thing. Look at everything. Go back. Look at old pictures. Try on those old clothes. Whatever you need to do for yourself to stop your mind from telling you you're a failure, because you're not. You have to do whatever you need to do. Okay? But the important thing is, don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing. Keep improving, because you can hit that goal. You can. It just might not be when you want to, but you can hit it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. As hard as it is, it's going to get better at some point. I don't know when. I wish it was now, but it's not, and that's fine. But just don't give up. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope something I said helped you if you're struggling, or maybe you know someone that's struggling. It's important to know you're not alone in this. I'm not alone in this. There's hundreds of millions of people in the world, and you are not the only person going through this. So keep pushing, keep doing you. You're doing amazing, and we will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.